Students, in the previous session, we learned that Evelyn Glennie started feeling music with the help of percussionist Ron Forbes, right? So she learned to feel music through different parts of her body. And once she learned music by sensing it or feeling it, and once she got confident, she started giving solo performances. And we know that after completion of a 3-year course at the Royal Academy of Music, she achieved all the top awards. Okay, so now, and for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. If you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there. So here, it is said that if anyone says that Evelyn has done great, she has done so well, she does not acknowledge that. Okay, she does not take pride in that. She is a very humble, real, and down to earth kind of a person. And instead, Evelyn says that if someone has an aim, or someone has a goal, and works, someone has a target and works really hard to reach the goal or to achieve the target, then he or she will definitely achieve it. So if you have an aim and work hard to achieve it, you will definitely achieve it. So Evelyn Glennie says that. And she got right to the top, the world's most sought after multi-percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. So as Evelyn worked very hard, she achieved her goal finally. She worked really hard and she had an aim to become the topmost, the most famous, the most sought after musician. That means she wanted to be a very popular musician of the world. And finally, she did that with all her hard work. She became a multi-percussionist, means she gained mastery of almost 1,000 musical instruments. She learned to play all of them and became the most popular multi-percussionist of the world. And now she starts having a very busy schedule, means she has programs and concerts all over the world. Now, it is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. So here, intriguing means fascinating and curious. So when you watch Evelyn perform so effortlessly, although she cannot hear, you get very curious and want to know that how she even does that. She cannot hear, but still she was able to identify each and every sound made by the musical instruments. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. Means, so here our discussion means the discussion between Evelyn Glennie and the writer of this first part of the chapter. Who is the writer of the first part of the chapter is Deborah Cowley. Okay, so the writer Deborah Cowley here says that he took Evelyn's interview, which lasted for 2 hours. Okay, and he says that Evelyn Glennie did not miss a single word while speaking. She spoke without any mistake. Okay, now, men with bushy beards give me trouble, she laughed. Now, here Evelyn laughs by saying that those men who have long, huge and bushy beards give her trouble. Now, why does she say so? Why she says that the man with long and bushy beards give her trouble? It is because when these men speak, okay, she cannot see their lip movement as their lips are covered with the bushy beards, which makes it a problem for her to read their lips, and she cannot understand what they are saying. That is why she says that men with long, huge and bushy beards become a problem for her. It is not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes. Now, Evelyn says that she does not only see the lip movement of the person's face to understand what the person is speaking. She does not only look at the lip movement, okay? Instead, she sees the whole face of the person, and especially the eyes of the person. Means she sees every expression of the face of the person, which which help her understand what the person in front of her is saying. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. My speech is clear because I could not hear till I was 11. Because I could hear till I was 11, she says. But that does not explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. So look, students, the writer now says that Evelyn speaks flawlessly, means without a fault or without making any mistake, she speaks. And she has a Scottish lilt or accent, meaning she has a Scottish way of speaking. As she belongs to Scotland, her voice has that Scottish accent. Okay, and now Evelyn says that she cannot hear, but she can speak properly. And she can speak clearly because she had learned the language, and also because she could hear till the age of 11. We all know that. But it is also said that after becoming completely deaf, Evelyn again learned 2 new languages. She has learned French as well as Japanese. So the writer says that one must wonder that how could she learn these 2 new languages even after being a completely deaf person? Now, as for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. So now here Evelyn says that how she feels music or how she identifies music. She feels music through every part of her body. It tingles in the skin, means music creates sensation in her skin. She can sense music through her skin. Music creates sensation in her cheekbones and even in her hair. So every part of Evelyn's body responds to music. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingerprints. By leaning against the drums, she can feel the resonances flowing into her body. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. So now, here it is said that when she plays the xylophone, means when Evelyn Glennie plays the xylophone, she uses sticks. And then she can sense or feel the vibrations of the sound which is made by the xylophone and which passes through the sticks to her fingertips. And again, when Evelyn plays the drum, she bends towards the drum, and then she can feel the resonances, means she can feel the resonances flowing into her body, means she can feel the echoes of the sound produced by the drum flowing into her body. So, and moreover, whenever Evelyn performs, she performs on a wooden platform, and removes her shoes. Now, why do you think she does so? She does so that she can feel the vibrations of the musical instruments which pass through the floor into her feet and then up her legs. So now we know that is how Evelyn Glennie can feel the sound of musical instruments, or that is how she feels music through different parts of her body. Now, not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Says master percussionist James Blades, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. So now Evelyn delights her audiences, means she is a delight to hear. People loves listening to her music. She gives very good solo performances. And in the year 1991, what happened? She was presented an award for performing solo. Now, what was that award? It was the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. And now one more person has been mentioned here, who is James Blades, who is a master percussionist. And what he says in this paragraph is, we have already read about this comment before we started reading the chapter, right? So what did he say? He said that God took away Evelyn's hearing ability or hearing power, but in return, what did God give her? God gave her an extraordinary or very strong power, that is the sense of feeling. Okay, the sense of feeling. She is able to sense sound. She is able to feel sound and music through the parts of her body. So God gave her that strong power of feeling, which helped her to become a great musician. Now, Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. So Evelyn says that she does not stop working. She is a very hardworking person. Okay. So I have just got to work, often harder than classical musicians, but the rewards are enormous. So Evelyn Glennie says that she had to work very hard, even harder than the classical musicians who can hear, and who can hear. So she had to work very hard, even harder than the classical musicians who can hear. And she says that the rewards she gets for her hard work are enormous, means huge and big. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. So now we get to know that Evelyn gave free concerts also in prisons and hospitals. Okay, and she also takes classes for young and growing musicians, and for those children who want to learn music. Anne Richlin of the Beethoven Fund of for deaf children says she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. So now Anne Richlin, who belongs to the Beethoven Fund for deaf children, so she says that Evelyn is a great inspiration for the deaf children, for the children who cannot hear. Okay, they see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. So this means that when the deaf children get to know Evelyn's story of life, and they get to know about all her struggles and about how she achieved what she wanted to be. So when they hear the story of Evelyn Glennie, they get inspired. Okay, these children get inspired. These deaf children get inspired. They feel that they can achieve anything. They feel that they can fulfill all their dreams. Now, Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped, people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. So now, we know that Evelyn Glennie has achieved so much in life that those people who are double her age have also not achieved so much as Evelyn achieved only at this age. So people so much older than her age have also not achieved much popularity and so many awards as Evelyn has achieved at her age. So she has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra, means see, we know that orchestra is a group of people who play different musical instruments, right? And generally what happens is that the percussion instruments such as the drums, the xylophone, so these instruments are placed at the back end of the orchestra, or they are placed at the side and are not being used so much. Okay. But when Evelyn gives a solo performance, what does she do? She gives special solo performances with these percussion instruments. Okay, so the percussion instruments have come in front of the orchestra. So it is said that Evelyn's story is an inspiration to the people who are handicapped, means physically disabled. They feel, these physically disabled or these handicapped people feel that if Evelyn can achieve her dreams, they can also achieve their dream. They can also achieve what they want. And in the end, the writer says that Evelyn has given enormous pleasure, means a lot of pleasure to her audience by playing such good music. People loves listening to Evelyn Glennie's music. So students, this is the end of the first part of this chapter, The Sound of Music. So the first part was all about Evelyn Glennie and her struggles to become a good and famous musician despite of being deaf, despite of being unable to hear. Now we have ended the first part of the chapter, and I will provide you with the question answers of the first part in the next session, and I hope you read the first part once, and if you have any doubt till where we have read and discussed, you can directly message me on WhatsApp, and in the next session I will provide you with the question answers of this part, and also I will give you some questions to write the answers on your own, and that will be your homework. So students, see you all in the next session.